unlawfully and knowingly drive a motor vehicle on a public highway. These are the kinds of charges filed by Brent Cooper, a district attorney in Middle Tennessee, like unto many others, thousands of them across the country. And these are in a case against a man named James Austin Englert in Tennessee. James is demanding a trial, and this is something that I think we should dare to try. We should dare to make our argument for the right of free movement, the right of ingress and egress, the right of moving our bodies and chattel from point A to point B. We have a right to do that under old law. Under also the Bruin case out of the Supreme Court, a gun case that requires a historical treatment of the right and the oppression or regulation of any particular right. So using Bruin and giving testimony, people who are miracle workers like James Austin Englert, can defeat the traffic monster in our country, this abusive use of state authority to suppress the exercise of constitutionally guaranteed rights. And my thinking is that we should invite the jury to hear about our lives. Cases like this have always been rather controlled by the prosecutor saying, in an appeal to jealousy and envy, we all know we have to have a driver license to use the public road. We all know that. And here's a person who thinks that he's somehow above the law. And we know that since we're all in the system, that this is a proper and safe thing to do. However, this is a lie, and it is a very kind of short, brief argument appealing to envy and ignorance of the jury members, all of whom were ignorant, for sure. They all went to public school. The response is taking the stand as a witness and going into detail in a 3-hour presentation, make it 3 hours, of your life in a car. Not that you live there, but that you use the car to enjoy ingress and egress rights from your house out onto the public road, and to say that everything I've done in my car, apart from license, is by right. And here now in your testimony, you start by going over the Constitution. You're not giving a law lecture, but you're saying that under the first right in religion, which is Article 1, Section 1 in Tennessee, that your whole life is built around your Christian convictions. And when you testify, you're testifying about the use of the car in the exercise and enjoyment of your religious liberties of conscience. You have religion, you have assembly, and you have also the right to earn a living and to own property, which are necessarily connected to the use of your car or truck apart from the transportation and trucking privilege, which is Title 55, and the origins of that law in Tennessee are from Title 65, Chapter 15, the carrier law, right? Carriers are utilities regulated in the public interest, but you're not doing that. You're not carrying goods or people as passengers for hire. You're not doing that. And so you describe in your testimony that it's going to take 3 hours to win the jury to the innocent life of the good working man using the road for hire. And what you're going to be saying is the details of your life. So let's just say that it is the right of assembly. You testify of recent times in your calendar where you used your car to go to an assembly. On this date, I went down this road at this time in my car, and I went to a meeting of my Wednesday evening worship service. That's an assembly. You went to a union meeting. That was an assembly. You give the dates. You say what you did at the meeting, and you say that you took the car when it was over and you went home on the same road as you went to the meeting, the union meeting. What other assemblies are there? Well, you have assemblies to meet customers. You have assemblies to go to visit your mother in the nursing home and her friends. Those are an assembly. So you say when you last went, what the date was. Did you bring her any gifts? Did you bring her flowers? Tell about the visit in detail. Tell about what you did there. What other assemblies have you been a part of? Oh, you went to a political rally. You went to meet a candidate. On this date, I went on to meet a candidate for office at this location at a farm. There was barbecue, handshaking, a speech or two, and support from an out-of-state political figure. That event was an assembly, and you were exercising your right to go to that event so that you might be informed when you voted. When you voted, you can point out, you went to the voting booth in your car. In your car, you went to the voting booth. This is 1/3 of your testimony, all the assemblies that you attend by car. And you have to point out that since the distance was 18 miles on one, 12 miles on another, 7 miles on another, that no one expects you to walk or use a mule. You don't have a mule, and you have a gimpy leg from an accident that you had back when you were a teenager. So right here we have clear reason why it is that assembly is an important right. And I have this right, you tell the jury, and you have this right. You have this right to go without having to get permission. The state is saying you can't use the road for assembly without permission. And that violates your right to assemble. Of course, you read the constitutional provision for that, and you maybe cite a court case or two that assure you that you're reading the Constitution correctly, that you have a right to assemble. And so your testimony in your trial, if it's allowed in your state, your trial wins the jury to the innocent and harmless use of your car by right for the enjoyment and free exercise under protectable interest of your right. And you're showing them not only that you are not guilty, but that you're innocent. You're perfectly innocent. You're innocent in the use of your car. You did not lawfully and unknowingly drive and operate a motor vehicle on a road thrown open for public vehicular travel. You didn't do that. You were using the road per right, using it. That's your testimony. And so I think that we should be, if it were me, take the stand and testify in detail. Make detailed notes, even how you got to the court for the trial, because you have a right to go to any public building. The courts are open. That means you have a right to go there. So be bold, be brave, take courage in God and in the exercise of your rights.